José Silva was a radio repairman who lived in the border town of Laredo, Texas in the 1940s. He had 10 kids, and his kids were not doing very well in school. Now José Silva had a crazy idea. You see, he had served in the U.S. Army, and he was fascinated by the psychological questions that the Army psychologist would ask new recruits. So he decided to look at psychology, and then look at what he knew about radio repair, and figure out how he could change the mindset and the brains off his kids so they could do better in school. As a radio repairman, he knew that if you reduce the resistance of a wire, more electricity flows through it, so he wondered what could I do to reduce the resistance in the human. He decided to experiment with reducing any form of resistance in his children's brain-mind. He experimented with biofeedback, he experimented with hypnosis, and sure enough his children's grades started improving at school. But then something astonishing happened. He was sitting down with his daughter, Isabel, reading a history book, and asking Isabel questions so he would guide Isabel into a restful state. She would have her eyes closed. He would read her the important dates. She would be able to absorb that, and then he would ask her questions. But something strange started happening. Isabel was able to answer a question before he verbally spoke it. Now let me explain this. He would think of the question in his head, such as who was the 16th president of the United States, before he could verbally say it. Isabel would answer the question Abraham Lincoln. José Silva was mind-blown, and so he wrote to Professor J.B. Rhine at Duke University. J.B. Rhine was famous for his research into a concept called ESP, and Silva told Rhine, Doctor, I think I trained my daughter to have ESP or extrasensory perception. J.B. Rhine replied back in a letter and said no, that's absolutely not true. Your daughter must have been born with it. José Silva disagreed, so he continued training the rest of his kids to develop a high degree of intuition. So now over the next 10 years, José Silva trained 39 Laredo children on this approach. He documented the results. He made everything hyper-precise, and he proved J.B. Ryan wrong. Adults started noticing and coming to him in Laredo. José Silva decided to call this approach the Silva Mind Control method, and what happened was astonishing. A man wrote in a newspaper how after learning Silva's method, he was able to cure his persistent migraine headaches for good. The next class, José wrote in his autobiography, was absolutely flooded by people, and the Silva Mind Control method ended up expanding all across America.